know it ain't minute like 6 though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I can show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
And welcome back to another CGS vid. You know it's me, CGS, and we're back at it again with predicting every NFL team's record for the upcoming NFL season. I know I'm doing it a few months early. I know I did it last year, maybe about a month before the season started, but this year I really wanted to give myself more time to work on these videos, make them better than what they were last year, because last year they're kind of all over the place, wasn't really that good, but this year I'm trying to make it the best way possible. And I said, as you know, last year I did all 8 divisions, covered every single one, said what I have my thoughts about the team, how they did in the offseason. Nothing different this year. Still gonna give my predictions, what I think about each team, how I think each team's gonna do. Nothing's gonna change other than the fact that I'm going to put more time and effort into making videos just like this. So without further ado, we're gonna start off how we started off last year, the NFC South. Let's get right into it. As you know, the first team we'll be looking at is the New Orleans Saints, my personal favorite team. And last year was just so bad. I did not enjoy watching it last year. You know, everything just went terribly wrong. I said 9-8 last year. We went 7-10, way below expectations. It is what it is. You know, this is a new year, new everything. Brought some other guys in, but let's just go ahead and get into the whole statistics of it, right? So last year, Saints averaged about 333.8 yards per game, 217.2 through the air, 116.6 through the ground game, only scoring about 19.4 points a game, and that landed them the 19th best offense in the league. Defense, giving up about 314.8 yards a game, 184.4 through the air, 130.4 through the ground. Really weird considering that at one point this defense didn't allow a 100-yard rusher in about 2.5 seasons. Giving up 20.3 points per game with a negative 11 turnover differential. That's where things get really bad. And at the end of the season, we had the 5th best defense. It's just, you know, this team, I don't know what went wrong. You know, obviously we brought in a new head coach. I guess you could say injuries derailed this team a lot. And it's just, you know, it's been a bad 2 years for us. As I said, it's a turnover differential, negative 11. You know, obviously giving the ball up more than we're taking it back. That defense didn't play necessarily well in the first half of the season. And the offense could never just get it going. Yeah, you know, that first game against the Falcons was really good, like a 26-10 comeback win. Then we just fell off, you know, went 1-3 again. Couldn't just seem like we couldn't find our footing, and then, you know, Jameis goes down, Andy Dalton comes in. It was just really, really bad. You know, and then, you know, we lost a lot of guys on that defense, including, you know, Marcus Davenport, lost Onyemata. We lost every, like, who else was it? Shy Tuttle. I'm sorry. And it was just like, you know, those guys really aren't that big of a loss because they combined for 1.5 one and a half sacks last year as a trio. So that really doesn't mean much. Derek Carr signing, I love the Derek Carr signing. I know a lot of people they're not high on Derek Carr, but I would rather take Derek Carr over Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill any day of the week. You know, we brought in Jamal Williams. We brought in a lot of we re-signed Michael Thomas. We re-signed Juwan Johnson. You know, Alvin Kamara might be facing suspension soon. That's fine, but we re-signed Jameis, who's going to be our backup again. You know, we got A.T. Perry from the draft. We got Keandre Miller from the draft. And it was just this team. There's a lot. You know, this team can do a lot, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We upgraded the line. We got Brian Breesy in the draft. Foskey, second round pick from Notre Dame. He's really good. But I feel like we've gained more than we lost, and it just depends on how well the coaching comes out to be. You know, we brought in all these guys. We brought some guys back. We brought in Derek Carr, a substantially better quarterback than Jameis and Andy Dalton combined, to come in and win games. He can do it. He's proven that he can get to the playoffs. You know, back in 2016, he was having an MVP run before, you know, before he broke his fibula and everything like that. He's proven, and he did it the year before last year. He proves he can win games. Just give him a top defense. Derek Carr's never played with a top 20 defense before. Like, and some people just refuse to neglect that. And that's the biggest thing. If this Saints team can remain a top 5 defense in terms of everything, we'll be good. It's just, and it all depends on the coaching. How well will the coaching be in for this team? And Dennis Allen is a defensive coach. I just need him to step up way, way more than what he did last year, because everything's not just gonna be okay after every game. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I love the moves Dennis Allen has been making, but if you can't fucking coach these guys that you brought in and you got in their mind that they can win on this fucking team, it's not gonna mean shit. We bringing in all these guys just to go 7-10 again. That's not gonna fucking work. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have the players who can win. We have those veterans who know what it takes to win. Yeah, Derek Carr's never won a playoff game, but he's been there. He knows what it takes to get there. Michael Thomas knows what it takes to get there. Alvin Kamara knows what it takes to get there. Honey Badger has a fucking Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to get there. Everyone on the team knows what it takes to get there. It just all comes down to, can they and will they prove that they can get there with this team they have? Because in all honesty, this is like do or die. If we don't make it this season, I don't think this team will ever make it. All right, time to get to the part that the main part of this each portion, schedule, and what I think the record would be. Now I look at this schedule, I'm just like, yo, we could win so many games. This is the second easiest schedule in the league behind the Falcons, right? And I'm just trying not to overhype myself, but this is a 10-7 win. This is a 10-win team, 10-7 record. I don't care what anybody says. I'm trying to like hold myself back from believing that we'll actually do good just to avoid the disappointment. But Titans. I'm looking at the Titans and Panthers week 1 and 2. Packers week 3. That could possibly be a 3-0 start. Honestly, Bucks week 4. And then we go to New England, Houston, Jacksonville, Indy, Chicago, Minnesota. Then we hit our bye week. Then we got Atlanta, Detroit, which definitely gonna be a tough one. Carolina, the Giants, another tough one. The Rams, if they're healthy, they're gonna be tough. The Bucks and the Falcons. At the end of the day, I think it's a. I'm gonna say 11-6. I'm gonna say 11-6. Last year we lost a lot of close games due to complete BS on our part, and I expect the same thing from us this year. That's how we've always been. We'll lose a bunch of close games, so I think we'll lose to the Panthers at least once. I think we drop a game against the Vikings. I think we drop a game against the Giants, the Rams. I think we drop one game against the Bucks. And I believe we'll end up dropping a close game to either the Colts or Bears. We're going to beat the shit out of the Colts. Fuck it. I'll give the Bears the win on that one. So here is the schedule and how it would look like if predictions came right. I know I said 11-6, but 12-5. I think we beat Detroit in a close game. I think we go 12-5. A lot of our losses will come later in the season, which won't be good, especially if we're trying to gain momentum for a playoff run, if it happens, right? This is just, I can't help myself from being biased right here. Looking at the schedule, it just seems so fucking easy, and I'm trying not to get myself hyped up just to be disappointed. And I know it's going to end up happening, but this is my prediction for the Saints, 12-5. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm being biased as shit right here. Moving on, next team we're looking at is the Atlanta Falcons. Oh my fucking god, every Falcons fan on Twitter is so fucking ignorant and annoying all of a sudden because they think they're so fucking good for whatever goddamn reason. But let's go over it, right? Let's look at the stats. Only 318.6 yards a game last year, 158.8 through the air, and 159.9 through the ground. Falcons had the best rushing attack last year. That's there's no doubt about it. Cordell Patterson, Tyler Allgeier went fucking stupid in that backfield last year. Best rushing game, averaging 21.5 points a game with the 24th best offense. Not the best at all, but there's a lot of holes on that team. It's very clear. So the defense, giving up 362.1 yards a game, 231.9 coming through the air, and 130 coming on the ground. Giving up 22.7 points a game. Yeah, that defense really is really it was really bad last year, and it showed. That's why they went out and got all these fucking defensive players. That's why all these Falcons fans think they're fucking good. Getting off topic. Turnover differential, -4. Not the worst, but not the best either. And the total defense was 27th in the league. Falcons fans, I really want to know why y'all think y'all are going to do so much better than what y'all did last year. Yeah, I get it. You went and got, these are all accusations, acquisitions, I should say. Calais Campbell, D-line. Okay, cool. You bumping up your D-line. You went and got Jeff Okudah in a trade. Oh, okay, cool. AJ Terrell's still a bum, too. Let's not forget. He did shitty last year. Who else did y'all go and grab? I think y'all got Bud Dupree. Good signing. I'm not even gonna hold you. Very good edge rusher. When he, you got Jesse Bates. That's the big one. Jesse Bates, one of the best safeties in the league. But at the end of the day, it comes to the offense. Desmond Ritter, second year QB, and the people who say Desmond Ritter is going to have a breakout season were the same people calling for the Falcons to draft C.J. Stroud at 7 if Bijan wasn't there. You know, like I don't want to hear that bullshit. And you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts is gonna be healthy. You got Bijan with Cordell Patterson and Tyler Adjulator to add to that number one running attack, right? But your O line, what are you gonna do about the O line? It's dog shit still. Can Kyle Pitts stay healthy? Without looking it up, y'all know who the number 2 receiver is on the Falcons roster right now? Oh, it's fucking Matt Collins or Scotty Miller. The passing attack's not going to be there. Drake London and Kyle Pitts going to have to go for 100 yards, 100 some plus catches each. Maybe Cordell's going to have to go play some wide receiver. Who knows? But look, obviously Bijan Robinson's going to help this offense a lot. Desmond Ritter, he's still got to learn a lot. Second year quarterback. I'm glad they didn't take a QB. It would have shot his confidence. I'm okay with that. Y'all added hella people on the defense. But do I really see y'all doing so much better than what y'all did last year? No. There's still a lot of holes. Your offensive line. Yeah, you added your defensive line, but Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell, they're old. They're getting up there in age. H.A. Terrell didn't have the best year last year. Jeff Okudah hasn't had the best career yet, and I hate that for him. I love Jeff Okudah coming out of Ohio State a few years ago. I thought he'd be better than what he is now. I didn't think he'd be on his second team already. Jesse Bates had a kind of a down year last year. I wouldn't say he had the best year of his career. And it just, obviously you got Casey Hayward's your corner 3. That's not good. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you who the other safety is with Jesse Bates in the back there. I honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know. However, this team has a chance to be good. They're young. They got some experience in there. With Cordell, Calais. They can go in there and help this locker room out when needed. But I just don't see the hype around this team right now. And who you gonna? Yeah, Drake London and fucking Kyle Pitts are gonna be good. What if they get hurt? Then Scotty Miller comes in, as your number 1. Matt Collins is your number 1 receiver. You're just gonna run the ball the whole time. I get it. That's why you drafted Bijan, but maybe I want Bijan to prove everybody wrong. Drafting a running back's never worked out when you draft him in the top 10. I get that, but I just want to see. I don't see the hype behind every Falcons player or every Falcons fan going oh, this is our year. Yeah, I know y'all have the easiest schedule, but when teams look at y'all on the schedule, they're not fearing the fucking Falcons. I just haven't seen enough from this team to be like, oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what they're going to do. They're still too young. I haven't seen enough. Maybe this season will change. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Atlanta Falcons schedule. These guys are supposed to have the easiest schedule in the league. And just looking at it, I count 11 losses. 11 with the easiest schedule in the league. You're going to lose against Carolina week 1. You're going to lose to Green Bay week 2. The Lions week 3. Jags week 4. You'll beat the Texans, you'll beat the Commanders, you'll lose to the fucking Bucks, you'll beat the Titans, you'll lose to the Vikings, you'll beat the Cardinals, you'll lose to the Saints, you'll lose to the Jets, you'll get the Bucks once, you'll lose to the Panthers, then the Colts, then the Bears, and then the Saints again. That's 11 losses. You're gonna go fucking 6-11. Against the easiest schedule, dead ass. Once again, I kind of boofed on the math. I did say 11 losses. I meant 12. 12 losses. 5-12 for this team. As I said, this team, they're still too young. Your wide receiver room isn't the best outside of Kyle Pitts and Drake London. Your running back room is amazing, though. I'll give you that. Desmond Ritter is still young. Your defense hasn't proven a goddamn thing. Yeah, you got Jesse Bates, like I said earlier. You went and traded for Jeff Okudah. You got Calais Campbell. You got Bud Dupree. You're helping out this defense. But in the end, I just don't see anything good coming out this season for you guys, and that's why you will have another 5-12 record and another disappointing season. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers, a team who I thought had a pretty good offseason. I'm not even going to hold you. I thought they did really well. There's a lot of Panthers fans out there that don't think they did really well this offseason, but I think they did pretty good. They're going to have a way better team than what they did last year. So let's go ahead and go over it. Last year, 7-10 record, second in the NFC South. So, average yards per game, 306.2. Passing yards, 176.2. 130 rush yards per game. Averaging 20.4 points a game. And the 29th best offense. not good. That running game really helped the Panthers out a lot. The combination of Donta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard was really good. It's just weird that they let Donta Foreman go. I thought he was going to be the main back this year. Him and Chuba Hubbard, but that's we'll go over that here in a minute. Defense gave up 350.2 yards a game. Yikes. That's not really good. Pass yards a game, he gave up 227.5. Rushing yards a game, 122.6. And giving up 22 points a game with a -4 turnover differential, which gave you the 22nd best defense in the league. Not the best, obviously. It could be way better, and that's what the Panthers did. They went out and got better. You lost a lot. You traded DJ Moore for that #1 pick, but you got that was a big move. But you got Bryce Young out of it, the best quarterback in this draft, this recent draft. You went and got DJ Shark. You went and got Adam Thielen. Tommy Tremble, I don't really know how I feel about him at tight end still. Ian Thomas is there too. You went and got Miles Sanders. Maybe him and Chuba Hubbard can do some damage. Miles Sanders it's not the best running back. Did y'all deserve to pay him that much? Maybe not. But I believe he's better than what y'all had. Chuba Hubbard and Donta Foreman. Miles Sanders is going to come in and do some damage with Bryce Young. It's going to help him out a lot. He's a pass catching back. It's going to help Bryce out. You got some veterans in there with him. Bryce is not going to be, just fending for himself. And granted, he might not even start the beginning of the year. Andy Dalton might come out and play more before Bryce is even ready, which is honestly a pretty good thing. Develop him for a little bit. Don't just throw him into the fray. It's not going to work out. We've seen how that plays out with a lot of young quarterbacks in this league. But the defense, it's really weird. They added Von Bell to go along with Jeremy Chin in that safety duo. Still got Shaq Thompson in the middle. Your D line, you almost gave up Brian Burns or Derek Brown for the Bears' #1 pick, but came down to GM or the Panthers' defense is they're young, they're good. Derek Brown and Brian Burns, that's the core of that defense, along with Jeremy Chin. Donta Jackson, I think he tore his ACL last year. Hopefully he comes back ready to play. CJ Henderson didn't have the best year last year. No, it's just weird. I forgot to add, Jonathan Mingo to that Panthers offense, young rookie. I believe he'll do good. And it's just the Panthers have they have that veteran help. Obviously, the pitch to these guys was good enough to where like, oh, I want to go to Carolina, I want to go play there. Obviously, they thought it's a good move for them, and hopefully it pans out for them. We don't know. However, it's just the defensive side of the ball concerns me. Yes, Derek Brown and Brian Burns are a great pass rush duo. They can get to the quarterback whenever, against whoever, right? Jeremy Chin, I know they had talks about moving him down inside of the box a lot, having another safety play up here, moving Jeremy Chin down. That's good. Jeremy Chin's a versatile type of guy. However, it's the DB room. It's just scary. Maybe Donta Jackson doesn't come back fully. And I just off the top of my head, I can't name. Oh, J.C. Horn, duh. Well, how am I forgetting their best corner, J.C. Horn? It's just J.C. Horn is not gonna be able to do it all by himself. You can have somebody out there on the other side of him in the slot. It's just weird because I think of Miles Hartsfield. He had a good year last year, but are we gonna really rely on Miles Hartsfield to get the job done? I don't know. It's just there's still a lot of holes everywhere in this team, tiny holes that could be fixed. However, I just don't see. I understand what the Panthers are trying to do. I just don't see it working right away. All right, let's go ahead and talk schedule. Week 1, you open against the Falcons. That's going to be a win. You go to the Saints week 2, loss. Seattle, loss. Vikings, loss. Lions, loss. Dolphins, it's 50-50, but I'm gonna say y'all gonna lose that one. Week 7, you got your bye early this year. Week 8, you'll beat the Texans. Week 9, you'll lose against the Colts. Week 10, you'll lose against the Bears. Week 11, you'll lose against the Cowboys. Week 12, you'll beat the Titans. I think you'll beat the Bucks once. Week 13, I said the Saints drop one against Carolina, so you'll win Week 14. Week 15, you'll drop one against the Falcons. Week 16, Packers, loss. Week 17, Jaguars, loss. And then you'll end the year at Tampa Bay with a loss. At the end of the day, I have Carolina going 5-12. It's going to take a while before this team actually shows improvement. It's not going to happen overnight. That's very rare to see. Just if they develop Bryce Young the right way for 1 year, give him some time to develop, I think the Panthers will be able to go places after this year. I think this year they're gonna say fuck it, get another high draft pick most likely, develop around Bryce Young. That way, when it's time, he's ready, and that way the Panthers can actually show that they accomplished what they set out to accomplish, and that's going to be a good team in the near future. And for the final team of this video, we are looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thank God Tom Brady is gone, because holy shit, the Bucs are finally back to being the same old Bucs I grew up watching. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's look at the stats. Look at the stats. 8-9 record last year. Won the NFC South with ease. That division was up for grabs with ease, and the Bucs won it with a losing record. Crazy, right? All right, yards per game, 346.7, 269.8 coming through the air, only 76.9 coming through the ground game, which is really, really bad. Like, Leonard Fournette was supposed to be that dude. He brought in Rachaad White, but no, run game was really bad last year. Scoring only 18.4 points a game, averaging the 15th best offense in the National Football League. Going to the defensive side, allowing 324.3 yards a game, 203.6 coming through the air, 120.7 coming through the ground game. Giving up 21.1 points a game with only a -2 turnover differential. Ninth best defense in the league. It's saying something because, I think the Bucs did lose a lot of games they should have won last year with ease. It was just, the offense couldn't get going. And when you can't establish a ground game, it really, really hurts you, because then you're going to be forced to throw the ball. And when people are expecting the pass, they're going to be on it. That's just how football works. When you can't run the ball, you're gonna have a rough day. And averaging 76 yards a game on the ground, not good. So I'm sure the Buccaneers have, a lot of shit planned for this next year, especially Rachaad White. Talks about bringing in Ezekiel Elliott. It's gonna be really interesting because you lost Tom Brady, but you brought in Baker Mayfield. Talks of Kyle Trask starting. That's also a possibility. Maybe, who knows? It's just gonna be really weird to see where this offense goes. You still got Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin. K-Dot, really good rookie tight end last year. He showed out a little bit. Your line, lost a few players on that line. I really don't know what's gonna happen with that offense. Like I said, it's gonna be really weird. The Devin White talks, that's its whole ordeal. It's gonna be weird to figure out. You lost Sean Murphy Bunting, not the biggest loss, I guess. Still got Antoine Winfield Jr. back there. Jamal Dean's still there. You kept him. It's just Vita Vea is still in the middle of that line. You kept Levante David too. It's just, like I said, this team is in a really weird spot right now, and it's gonna be really weird to see how they go into this next season. It's just, quarterback situation. You got weapons around whoever starts at quarterback, right? You got two of the best receivers in the league. Mike Evans, he's a top 10. Chris Godwin was also in the top 10 convo, before tearing his ACL too. It's really comes back down to the ground game. Are they going to be able to run the ball this year? Can Rachaad White prove that he is that number one guy that y'all cut Leonard Fournette? And like I said, there's talks about bringing in Ezekiel Elliott. And it's just Zeke's lost a step, clearly. And it's like I said, it's just really weird where this team's going. I expect Baker Mayfield to be the starter week 1. Obviously, the Bucs believed in this guy enough to where they didn't trade up for a quarterback or didn't even draft a quarterback. So we're gonna see. You brought in the Pittsburgh D lineman Concy, I believe his name is. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He's really good. I wanted the Saints to draft him if he was available at 29 in the last month's draft. So like I said, it's just gonna be really weird to see where this offense and defense goes. The fall from grace is gonna be great. As a Saints fan, the fall from grace is gonna be fun to watch, and I'm excited for it now because I can actually say that the Bucs are bad now, and it just feels so good. All right, looking at the Buccaneers schedule, you open up week 1 against the Vikings. I'll give you a loss. The Bears, I'll give you a win in week 2. Week 3, you have the Eagles. I'll give you a loss. You have the Saints week 4. I'll give you a win because I did say the Saints would lose that one. Get your bye in week 5 really, really early. That's going to hurt. Week 6, Lions, loss. Week 7, Falcons, win. Week 8, Bills, loss. Week 9, Texans, win. Week 10, Titans, win. Week 11, Niners, loss. Week 12, Colts. Loss. Week 13 Panthers. I think I said the Panthers take this one. Week 14 Falcons win. Week 15 against the Packers, loss. Week 16 against the Jags, loss. Week 17 against the Saints, loss. And you win the last week, week 18 against the Panthers. So at the end of the season, I have the Bucks going 7-10. As I said, it's just this division sucks. At the end of the day, I know last year I called the NFC East the worst division. That title belongs to the NFC South now. This division is just so bad, and it's really who can get under their feet faster. You know, who can start fast and who can just cruise by everybody in this division. That's what it's really going to come down to. And I think the Bucks' reign of terror is finally going to come to an end. So let's hypothetically say every prediction I make is correct. This would be the records for each team. The Saints would be first place NFC South 12-5. Bucks number 2 at 7-10, Carolina at 3 at 5-12, and Atlanta at 4 at 5-12. This is my prediction. I'm not saying, obviously it's far-fetched. It's strong possibility that I'm not correct. I was only right on 3 predictions last year. After every video, I'll add a division to this list right here that you see, and then at the end of this series, we're going to see who is the top seeds 1 through 7, who makes the playoffs, who advances the playoffs, and who will win the Super Bowl. I want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot. I'm trying to make these videos better than what they were last year. Like I said, I just did it on a whim last year. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next video.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I send for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different tempo.